Well, hello everybody. I'm really disturbed by the mainstream media coverage of the Unite the Kingdom um, protest gathering yesterday. I mean, if you just look at the crowds here, that it was well over what the mainstream media are claiming. I mean, very hard to estimate, but I'd say at least 500,000 there. But it isn't so bad as, if they just distorted the numbers, which they do, but they condemn them in the most terrible ways, and they totally detach the mainstream media from you, the people. So I'm spreading this message across all my channels, not just my free speech channel, and I just want to explain how bad this is. So I'm going to start off with LBC. The mask of civility on LBC's pet globalist Lewis Goodall slipped, and a voice dripping with contempt, he derided the hundreds of thousands of concerned, distressed fellow Britons as, quote, nobodies from nowhere. What a disgrace this is. Here he is, in a short clip on LBC.
At the rally yesterday is some very violent political invective and rhetoric. And we didn't just see it from some nobodies who just turned up from nowhere. We saw it from Elon Musk.
In fact, the rally was a joyous, almost carnival atmosphere. And Tommy Robinson and his organisation went to endless pains to ensure there be no violence. And any violence you hear reported by the mainstream media, by the way, is very much a distortion. Very, very much a distortion. But that man should be sacked, because if he calls himself a journalist, putting out stuff like that, well, fine. But then you, the public, can decide. But here's the BBC coverage of this, maybe 500,000 or more people peacefully gathering, peacefully celebrating what it is to be British, what it is to be a united kingdom, with speakers from all over the world. Yeah, all peaceful. But no, this is how the BBC present it. I think what happened there, as yet to be investigated, is there was a protest with maybe, they say, 5,000 people from the anti-racist groups, etc. And don't forget, the crowd that gathered, the hundreds of thousands, were a completely mixed races and religions and so on. Completely mixed. Any camera view of the crowd would demonstrate that. But no, the left wing have to do this. And somehow the police managed to introduce that left-wing mob to the edge of the crowd. I don't know what happened there, but I do know the coverage of it is not true. Now I have to give the mainstream media some praise in this, because quite exceptionally there was a Sky News little bit that came out about the march where the journalist actually bothered to go and find out a bit for himself. And he actually gave he distorted some of the intro, etc. But he actually gave, to me, a bit of a breakthrough in the mainstream media, that it wasn't quite like the rest were painting it. And here he is.
The most alarming aspect of the event was just how normal the vast majority of the marches were. I spent an hour or two amongst them, and my own impression was that they were mostly the sort of people you'd meet in a country pub or in half-time queue for the loo at football or at a concert. There was a sprinkling of black and brown faces, and the event was brought to a close by a gospel group singing Jerusalem. All that must worry the traditional mass parties, Labour and Conservatives, now polling at less than 40% between them. They're draining support to parties like Reform and the Greens. And yet, a man recently out of jail, condemned as an extremist thug by most mainstream media outlets, can rally a demo the size of the entire population of Cambridge or Blackpool. A feat you couldn't imagine either Sir Keir Starmer or Kemi Badenoch pulling off anytime soon. Perhaps the people are sending us all a message. Let's see if anyone at Westminster's listening.
So with a multicultural crowd just standing up for British values, for the whole of the UK and for free speech, for that we get labelled all sorts of things that aren't true. And one of the labels that stuck in me this last year or so is that lot. And even parties like Reform, the New Hope party, where the hope has gone to in the hundreds of thousands and they're winning elections and so on, it's fake. It's basically fake. They don't represent this crowd. They don't represent the United Kingdom people. They represent a view. In fact, the name for this crowd is That Lot. Just take a look.
Tommy Robinson, people have been protesting in his name. What do you make of Tommy Robinson? Is he a good guy in your eyes?
No. All of that lot, we have nothing to do with them.
Even the
nothing to do with
protesters who have got banners up saying two-tier Keir, you agree with them on the policing and justice?
We agree with ourselves. I'm not aligning ourselves with Tommy Robinson's lot in any shape or form.
But tell.
So there we are. You know, a party that doesn't want to know you, doesn't want to know, you know, they calls you that lot. Okay, that lot are the British people and how they're feeling. That's why there's protests all over the country now. You know, and not all people want to protest, but a lot of people on the side of wanting a change. They don't want the demographic change that's happening. They don't want a future that another culture takes over. They don't want those things, right? And nor do a lot of the established immigrants who've come into the UK, taken part in our culture, adopted our culture, keeping their own religions, keeping their own ethnicity, keeping their own sort of version of it, but still understanding British values and adopting them. That's what it's about. And of course, Reform doesn't want to know that lot. You can buy yourself into a position in Reform, give them £200,000, you can become chairman, you know, so no democracy, you can buy your way in, and they suppress free speech, which is why so many chairmen of local branches have had to leave. You know, they're told what not to say, and so on. That is not democracy the way it works. So I'm thankful now that we do have a hope. And I'm a member of this. I'm a member of the AdvancedUK College, helping to formulate the policies. And I really, really think it's our last hope. And so we've got time, but let's get on with AdvancedUK. And who would appear at this big gathering of hundreds of thousands of people? Did Kemi Badenoch appear? No way, no, that's that lot. Oh, did any of the Labour Party appear? No way. Did any Reform people appear? Any leaders from Reform appear? No, because they don't represent you. They're a managed, if you like, opposition. Now, don't fall for it. And I feel strongly about it, so I'm going to say it as it is. I understand you cannot get a long way with a party just damning the other party. Totally understand that. But if you look at what the principles of AdvancedUK, of which I'm a college member, stand for, you'll understand what the change there is that can be true, can be done. And all I can say is join AdvancedUK. But before I leave you, I'm going to leave you with an interview with the leader of AdvancedUK, that's Ben Habib. I'm going to leave you with an interview that maybe explains his position at the rally. Yeah, and I think it's a very good interview, and therefore I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to ask you to join, and in the description below this video is a way you can join. So this, if you like, is me pushing the party. Fine, I'll do it at every opportunity. It needs it. Thank you for watching.
Right, I'm here with the one and only Ben Habib.
Well, thank you, the one and only Lee.
Good
to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, definitely. So,
and I'm standing tall, so I can be above you. It's a very rare thing for me. Yeah. I'll come back down to earth.
I see, you're about the same height, so that's good. So tell me, what significance do you think today is going to have?
Well, I think what the political class haven't woken up to is the fact that the British people are waking up.
Yeah.
And what they regard, they hold these people and us in contempt. That's why they're not here. That's why the Conservatives aren't here, Reform's not here. They hold us in contempt. But they've misunderstood the political dynamic. We are on the rise. The British people are on the rise. And if they want to succeed democratically, if the Conservatives or Reform want to succeed democratically, or indeed any political party, they should be here. They should be with the people.
The political landscape, I think you probably would agree, is definitely already changed in this country. People are already much more promiscuous with the way that they vote. Yeah. There's no loyalty as much to the two main parties.
The two-party system is gone.
Yeah.
It's well and truly broken.
I completely agree. Now, you know my views on...
I know, I've been provoking you. I've been provoking you in my answers.
I know. Now, the way I look at it is, let me ask you, what do you think... Say it's 2029.
Yeah.
You've got, 30,000 members now, I believe?
Yeah, just over, yeah.
You registered the...
We've applied for registration.
Applied for registration.
To the Electoral Commission, yeah.
What, for you, is the best outcome of the next general election? Where do you see what your party will be able to achieve?
Well, Lee, there's only one answer to that. A majority AdvancedUK government.
Come on, Ben. Do we honestly think?
I think it's absolutely possible. Can I just say, when I was Deputy Leader of Reform, people incessantly told me, you're just a spoiler, you're not going to get seats. In May 2024, they kept saying you're not going to get seats. I knew we were going to get seats. I knew it. And I kept saying we were going to get seats. And we got seats. We broke the two-party system. And we did all of that effectively in a year. We went from close to nothing in the polls to getting 5 seats in Parliament, which in itself is seismic. AdvancedUK has got 4 years, and we are going to be serious. Lee, the difference between us and the Conservatives and any other political party is we're going to call the problems out as we see them, but we're going to reveal the root causes of the problems, and alongside revealing the root causes of the problems, we're going to provide solutions, and we are not going to bend. We're going to produce a manifesto which addresses every single major issue facing this country, and then we will go into Parliament with the mandate to deliver it. And we will do it on day one.
See, this is what I like about you, Ben, because when you speak from the heart. And I can tell you believe everything that you say you believe. And I'm not going to lie, I agree with pretty much everything that you say. My only concern is, and it's not a massive concern, because I think there's a lot of positives that AdvancedUK can bring. Because essentially I think we share the same ideology. Yeah. And I wouldn't even consider myself
Lee, you and I are completely together.
Completely.
There's not a hair's breadth between us.
Definitely not. Yeah. The message that I've been putting out, though, is that if we get a third party across the line, someone who isn't the Labour Party or the Conservatives, now that's not me being a fanboy of reform, I just want another party to win that election. Yeah. And I don't care who it is. I really don't. As long as they're a good right-wing party. Yeah. Do you think that what's more important to us, right, is whether someone else wins that election or we accidentally hand that election again to Labour and the Conservative Party, which I think, by the way, we could not survive.
Let me just say a couple of things. The election's 4 years away. And anyone who thinks it's coming in 2027, I don't think is really being serious. The Labour Party is not going to split. The only way you get an election in 2027 is if the Labour Party brings the Labour Party down. Turkeys do not vote for Christmas. They just don't do it.
They're going to get annihilated.
They're going to get annihilated. So why would they do it? It's not happening. So we got 4 years. The crucial thing right now is to make the arguments for what needs to be done to save this country. Not to allow those who are roaming free in the political landscape to sell lies to the British people. To actually reveal the issues and reveal the solutions. We've got to make those arguments. That's what we've got to win. And then when it comes to 2029, whenever the general election comes, we need to look at the electoral landscape and we need to decide how do we make sure that we get a pro-British, pro-sovereign, small government, freedom of speech, equality under the law. How do we get that kind of government? And I'm going to say one more thing, Lee. The next government of this country will be an unashamedly pro-British government.
I bloody hope so.
Not hope so, it will be. Yeah. And it will be because AdvancedUK exists. Whether or not we form that government, the next government will be pro-British because of us.
I really like the sound of that, Ben. I'm not going to lie. I think that we cannot survive, and this is what terrifies me. We cannot survive in this country with another 5 years of the Labour or Conservative Party. I want them to be destroyed. I don't want them to exist anymore if they can't.
Well, where's Kemi Badenoch today? Why isn't she here?
She wouldn't dare show her face.
But why isn't she engaging with the British people? Why isn't every so-called, I don't subscribe to the left-right theory, as you know, but why isn't every centre-right politician here engaging with the British people? Are these people all far-right? Are they all contemptuous? Are they all illegal? As far as I can see, they're just British citizens who've turned up to express a view.
Absolutely.
So where are the bloody politicians? Why aren't they here? How is it that they sit in their ivory towers and won't engage with the people? Is that democracy? That's not democracy. That's contemptuous of democracy.
Well said. I could not agree more. I've been around this crowd and I've seen the people here. These are regular Brits. These are families. Yeah. These are happy, smiley people who are here to celebrate being British. Now, what I cannot understand, I mean, I haven't seen any reform MPs here either. I haven't seen anybody here.
Why?
You are the first politician I've seen here, Ben.
Yeah, but why? You have to ask why. How is it that they've come to conclude that these people are not worthy of their attention? How can the electorate not be worthy of a democratically elected politician's attention? Something has gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I think that It's been a shame that we've seen coupling reform, and we've seen certainly mainstream politicians, none of them would like to associate with this because they think that this is about Tommy Robinson and they don't want to associate them. But I think the Overton window has moved.
It has moved, and it's not about Tommy Robinson.
No.
It's not about me. It's about them. I'm here for them.
I agree. Yeah. No, I think it's been what do you think? Do you think Keir Starmer is going to notice today? Do you think he's going to listen?
Well, he's not. He must be listening. Whether or not he does anything is another question. I think he's like a rabbit caught in the headlights. He's seeing his ideological project collapse around him, and he doesn't know how to react. He knows he's toast.
Do you think he'll be gone before the next election?
Well, as I say, Labour Party needs to split and turkeys don't vote for Christmas. So I think that's unlikely. But he's watching a train wreck. And, you know, when Boris Johnson was elected, I'm sure you'll remember, everyone said 80-seat majority, this is 10 years of Conservative governance. He had trashed the agenda within a couple of years. These guys got a record majority of 175, albeit on hardly any votes, but they got a record majority. They've trashed their position within a year. We need a government that is connected with what the British people want. And what the British people want is an independent, proud, prosperous United Kingdom. Simple.
So tell me, Ben, what's next up for Advance? What's the plan?
The plan now is to apply. We've applied to the Electoral Commission, get registered. I'm forming a college of people, the great minds of our movement, who are members of Advance and will help to guide Advance and deliver the policies that we need to save the country. They are now in short order going to be formed into committees, along with the executive of the party.
Because you're very big on making sure the party is democratic.
Absolutely, and we've got to get the best people with the best ideas, having robust internal debate, so that when we come up with the policies, which will be backed up, by the way, Lee, with draft legislation, we're not going to just stop at a manifesto. When we enter Parliament in 2029, we're going to enter with draft legislation, which we're going to bang down on the desk and deliver it day one.
Last question. What do you make of Restore Britain?
Great. I mean, I love what Rupert Lowe's doing. He's a brave speaker. He's pulling together Conservatives, members of the Labour Party, Liberal Democrats and Reform, and I wish him I'm a member of Restore Britain. I wish him all the best of luck.
I've been keeping my powder dry on this one, but I am very impressed. And I can see it being kind of the right-wing momentum.
Yeah.
Where momentum are very, very effective on grassroots and pushing policy forward. Do you think that, let's say we have a reform government, hypothetically, at the next election, do you think that Restore will be able to influence policy? Do you think that Farage will listen?
Let's see. I mean, it's not Farage that Restore needs to pitch. They need to pitch me. They need to pitch Advance.
Quite right, quite right. Well, look, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I know there's lots of people who want to talk to you, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee.